Television cowboy. Tell the story, woo. Yeah. Television cowboy, baby. Forecast,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, greetings and welcome to another episode of The Planetary Persuader. And I'm Cosmic Kev, your host. And this is for the week beginning January 8th, 2016. Ending up, I guess, on through the 16th, 15th. So this is what we got going. We've got a new moon tomorrow, folks. We've got a new moon in the western sign of Capricorn. Okay. And that moon in Vedic astrology would be in Sagittarius, because in sidereal it would be in Sagittarius. And I always like to talk about the nakshatra on new moons and full moons. So this nakshatra is known as Purva Ashada. So Purva Ashada is Venus ruled. Ooh, so this is like, there is some juicy love in this. It's also rules things travel by water, like being in a canoe or a ferry, or merchandising things, being in the merchant marines. I think its symbol was a winnowing fan. And so there's a certain amount of aggression associated with this new moon, because a fan is seen as an aggressive act against heat. So that's what I know about Purva Ashada. And so those of you who say, you have yourself a moon, say at so many degrees, actually it might even, I take that back, start all over, it might actually be an Uttara Ashada by this point. I actually think now it probably is, which is the other part of the Ashada. It's not the winnowing basket, but it is ruled by the sun. And so there's going to be some exposure, some things coming out with this new moon. That is, that's a given. So, going back on that, no, it's actually the Uttara part, Ashada, still loosely in the sign of Sagittarius, towards the end of Sagittarius. Now, in Western astrology, I mean, even today, if you're talking about Friday, moons in Capricorn, so it's just a tail end of this shrinking down, waning moon. So it's like we can set our intentions now as to what we want to start with this new moon. Now, in Capricorn and Western astrology, the key phrases I use, and it's an earth sign. So it's dealing with the practicalities and the mechanics of life. The nuts and bolts, the bones, the hair, the fingernails, these type of things. The framework. So when we think of this time, let's think about what kind of framework are we putting in this year? And we have Saturn square Neptune, both in Jupiter-ruled signs in Western astrology. So it's like, how do we take action? Fire is action in some ways. Or I guess in Western astrology we'd say fire is more like our spiritual inspiration. How do we get spiritual inspiration from our limitations? That's Saturn and Sagittarius. Well, I mean, Sagittarius is looking for a higher vision. Let's look beyond this, Somehow, even though there's a prison wall, there's a window way up high, and there's light coming in, and occasionally a bird comes by. Occasionally I see clouds move in. Occasionally there's a storm I see. Occasionally there's a spider. There's so many different things from just a little window, even if we can't reach it, where we get a vision. That's Sagittarius stuff. Okay, other part. Let's, the Neptune. Neptune and Pisces, it's a spiritual time. But it's also a time where we realize that we really need to lift up our fellow human beings. We need to have compassion. We need to have kindness. And we need to have a faith that somehow working together and by being more loving and yielding, we can all get along. I don't want people to yield to tyrants, though. That doesn't sound good. Jupiter still in Virgo, so